I don't think it's a case of preference for me, really. I use both.
I think if you're an advisor that wants exposure to active and passive management, but you're not too sure which areas of the market you should be buying active management and which areas of the market you should be buying passive management, then having two fund managers that are managing a portfolio, that are deciding the areas where it really adds value to buy active management and spend those active fees.
In terms of active and passive management, I haven't got any predetermined preference. They both have their places. I feel that particularly the blended range with Architas literally gives you the best of both worlds, where you can keep a limit on costs or aim to reduce costs, but active management's added where it's where it can add more value.
I think if clients have too much exposure to passive strategies, then portfolios can be skewed towards the most recent best performing assets. So having a blend of active and passive is a good strategy.
The less efficient areas of the market are areas where active managers can outperform. So typically that's in equity markets, and then within equity markets across regions, it's more towards Asian, emerging and Japanese markets.
In active management, there are some areas where defensively you may actually want to have an active manager in some parts of the fixed income space. In other parts, including fixed income, again, emerging market debt, where you still want to have somebody actually going through and doing that analysis on the underlying funds. But also, even we do find that there are opportunities, even in the US, which is an area that's much talked about for being the most efficient market, but actually we can find managers in the States that are able to outperform an index on a consistent basis.
Again, the research shows that more efficient markets, like within equities, US equities, but then on the fixed income side, in government bond markets, corporate bond markets, these are more efficient markets where active managers struggle to outperform. So in those areas, we tend to use passives to save on costs.
What I'm really looking to do is to see what is the style, what process is that fund management group saying that it's going to deliver for my clients, and then for me to be able to assess that the way in which they're doing it is actually true to what they're promising. Because what I want for my clients is a range of fund management groups who all know what my client's risk target, what their profile is, but to try and achieve that in a different way, whether that's like Architas, where there's a blend of some active management and a bit of passive, or whether it's a purely passive strategy like a Vanguard. I want a range of different groups that can complement and contrast, that will have different focuses on overseas assets, different focuses on alternative assets, and for me to have confidence that within my client portfolios there's a good blend of different styles, and that the manager will deliver the style that he's promised that he's going to deliver.
When you're looking at investment managers, there's always an eye on cost, but also you want to see good processes, controls, investment expertise, and of course performance. By using the multi-asset fund range really gives you a very high level of diversification, but under one wrapper, so it's easier for clients to understand what they've got or see what they've got, and it is all managed in a overall way.
I recommend blended portfolios quite extensively, actually, probably more so than the passive and active mandates, purely because they just give you a best of both worlds, really. And they're able to obviously have that element of active management, but also keep the costs a lot lower than the active mandates. So yeah, I think they're really good, and yeah, I use them extensively.
First of all, the blended solutions that we offer are risk profile. That means clients can be sure that the level of risk in the portfolios is appropriate to the level that they've determined is correct for them. The blended range offers a best of both worlds solution. We look to use active funds where there's the potential for the active funds to add value, but on the other hand, we're looking to save costs by using passive funds where they're appropriate. The blended range operates on a risk profile basis, which means we operate within defined boundaries for levels of risk. However, within that, we do have the scope to use tactical asset allocation to try to reduce risks where necessary and add value on the upside where possible. We're also selecting funds and constructing portfolios to deliver the levels of risk that are appropriate, and again to try to add some performance on the upside. So selecting funds that are appropriate for changing dynamics of the market.
We have a quarterly view. We have monthly updates on the actual underlying funds and what's going on within the moving parts of those funds. And we have ad hoc updates that cover areas like Brexit or the outcome of general elections both here and overseas. And then one of the main areas we have to speak to advisors in depth and also take their questions is events that we see being prepared behind me, which are our events, our advisor events, World Market Reviews, where we will cover markets but also have a section on the advisor practice and practitioner element, sometimes talking about regulation and today talking about portfolio construction.